a man who's lived alone in the jungle for 12 years. That's the reality of the wildlife conservationist Hans Dalal, who we've already hosted on the Hindi podcast. But guys, this one was a free flowing conversation about animals, about the subject of zoology, about ancient animals, about dinosaurs, about all sorts of things that walk on four legs and sometimes two. Sort of philosophical, sort of adventurous, and of course, because of Hans Bhai, a lot of fun on this episode. If you enjoyed the Hindi podcast, you'll enjoy this 10x as much. Hans Dalal returns on the Ranveer show. So make sure you follow the Ranveer show on Spotify. We're Spotify exclusive, which means that every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. Speaking about animals is my favorite subject, and I hope that you guys enjoy this conversation as much as I enjoyed creating it. Enjoy Hans Dalal on the Ranveer show once again. Hans Dalal, the modern day Mowgli, wildlife conservationist, former sound engineer. You saw a tiger in a jungle once and you said, "No, I ain't living in the city. I'm going to the jungle. I'm going to go save some tigers." You've lived in the jungle alone for 12 years, my brother.
Yeah, it's been 12 years. Yeah.
How does it feel, dude? So, when we put out a questionnaire or a question-based tweet, ki send in questions for Hans, people have seen your Hindi podcast.
Yeah.
And one of the questions was, how do you poop and pee in the forest? Like, where does the poop and pee go?
It is a poop and pee go as in.
Like,
Like I have a toilet at home. I have
but-
a shit pot in the toilet.
where does the
So it goes like any farm or outdoor facility, even cities actually nowadays are getting into this thing called a septic tank. So you dig a hole in the ground and you make a brick wall on four sides, keep the bottom open only, and you put a slab on top, and then your pipe goes into that, and then the gas pipe. So everything, all your shit and all your basically your WC out goes and connects into that, and all the liquid goes in the ground, and over years that collects and becomes manure. Or you cannot use that actually because of the food we eat is so chemically induced.
really?
So you have to call one of those. But it takes 25, 30 years to fill up.
Okay.
So after 30 years, you have to call one guy. He comes with a machine at the back of a truck and they suck it out and go and dispose it off properly.
Where?
It's a government guys. You have to call the local municipality and they come and they take it to the recycling facility or whatever the shit it is for your shit.
So
I'm sure this question didn't come in any tweet. You're just curious about it.
I'm always curious about
You're a
your.
shitty guy.
I am. Okay, dude. So you have lived alone in the jungle for 12 years. Recently, you made this house deep inside the jungle, kind of far away from everyone else.
It's not deep inside the core zone. It's in the buffer zone. Yeah, well, it's in the buffer zone of Tadoba, which is the tiger reserve. And the closest city is like 30 kilometers away. But there are small tribal villages around where I live also. The
There's-
closest village is about 1.5 kilometers away.
Okay.
So-
But there are also tigers right outside your house.
Yeah, like tigers, leopards, bears. Not right outside, like they roam around in the area. Sometimes they come outside, sometimes they come at the back. Sometimes side mein aata hai.
Have you seen battles between animals? Like, have you seen a bear going up against a tiger?
No, I've not seen a bear going up against a tiger. I've seen tigers like going for tigers. And I've never seen bears going for tigers. Even though people have seen it a lot.
Yeah.
Like it happens quite often.
Mm.
Like there's this one tiger who used to live in Tadoba. Now he's moved out of the forest. He's living in protected forest outside Tadoba only. Territorial forest. His name is Wagdo. At one point, he was Asia's largest tiger. Okay, and people say that he's about 16, between 16 and 18 years old. And like last year during the lockdown, there was news that he had killed a sloth bear and eaten it. At
Wow.
19 years old, a tiger is like,
Old.
tigers usually live like 13, 14 years in the wild.
Mm.
And he's still going strong, man, which is amazing.
Bro, like these wild animals, especially at the top of the food chain,
Yeah.
like be it a tiger or a lion in Africa. I know
Yeah.
you've traveled in Africa, and
Yeah.
that's going to be a whole section on this podcast.
Yeah.
But these apex predators, what happens to them when they get old? Does something eat them as well?
No, like tigers usually just die of old age. Like either their canines wear off or they can't hunt, and then they just die of starvation most of the time or natural causes. Like if they're injured, even then they can't hunt.
Hmm.
So then they'll die of an infection or something like that. And usually, like when a tiger gets old, right, a younger tiger comes into their territory and pushes them out. And that's the law of nature. Like stronger tiger will come in and take over the older tiger's territory. So the older tiger will start moving away from the core to out towards the fringes of the forest.
Hmm.
And then they go there and then they die of natural causes like starvation or whatever.
Hmm. What's the closest encounter to a tiger that you had? And just be candid about
Oh
this.
shit, dude, very close.
What had happened?
Like once I was helping the forest department track a conflict tiger. The tiger killed like 7 people.
Man-eating tiger.
No, I won't say man-eating tiger because it's a wrong statement to call a tiger a man-eater. Because 90%, 90, 95, 98% of the time, a tiger, when it kills a person, it doesn't eat anything actually.
Hmm.
That I have noticed.
Hmm.
Like whatever human kills that have happened and I have read about or I have seen or I have helped out in, 95% of the time the tiger doesn't eat the human.
Hmm.
So the correct term for these tigers is conflict tigers, I feel.
Okay.
Because they are part of human wildlife conflict, but they're not man-eaters because they've not eaten, they've just killed.
Hmm.
And there are reasons for that also. Like sometimes, like the tiger's walking in the jungle and suddenly the human comes out around the bend.
Hmm.
So the tiger also gets startled. So it'll attack in a form of self-defense.
In a reaction form.
Yeah, in a reaction form. Or like sometimes like, when humans squat, like lot of times villagers go in the forest to collect forest produce. Like tendu leaves, mawa flowers, which grow in the forest. So they go to collect those. So they squat down and pick up stuff. And against the light, village people, like tribals, are like small built, they're skinny. And when they squat, they look like a silhouette of a langur sometimes,
Hmm.
which comes on the tiger's prey list.
Like it's one of the tiger's
Yeah,
foods.
it's one of the tiger's foods. So many of the time it's mistaken identity or surprise, which is why they kill. And that's why they don't eat because we are not on their menu actually.
Do you think we don't taste good?
I don't know, man.
Like why do you think they don't eat us?
Like
versus-
I don't know. Like if you see like if I have seen like animal postmortems and human postmortems, and I know this is going to get a little disgusting.
Go for it.
But when you cut an animal open, like even a goat, for example, when you go to the butcher shop and you cut the goat, if you see the muscles that you buy, the meat, it's red. It's bright red, the meat, right, when it's cut.
Hmm.
But when you cut a human open, our muscle is brown. It's like brownish. It's like maroonish brown. So I guess there's something to do with that. Maybe. I'm not sure. I've never eaten human.
Hmm. What I've read is that I was reading up on orcas. You know orcas?
Yeah,
Killer whales.
orcas, yeah, killer whales.
So they are capable easily of wrecking a human being.
yeah,
but
very easily.
there are very few cases of killer whales actually attacking human
Yeah.
beings. And the reason that people assume is that we have very little flesh on us. So if they go to eat
Yeah.
us, they'll also have a lot of our bones, our
Bones.
rib cage, our arms.
Yeah,
all
that's
that.
another thing with tigers and tigers also. Like tigers' prey is like sambar deer, which is like 300 kilos, or a Indian gaur, which is the Indian bison, which is like 800, 900,000 kilos.
Hmm.
The smallest prey they go for is a spotted deer, which is also like a good 200, 250 kilos, or a wild boar, which are huge.
Hmm.
So they need large prey. Because eating us means, boss, when they kill us, boss, if you take our bones and all off and our digestive system out, which they don't eat, what you'll get? 15 kilo zyada mein zyada. Mutton or mass, matlab you get fat also in that. So the actual flesh will be like hardly like, I don't know, 10-12 kilos for and to go through all that effort of stalking you and hunting you and all. I don't think it's worth it.
Bro, so you've heard of megafauna, na? Megafauna is
What
like,
megafauna?
matlab, between the time dinosaurs and humans existed on the
yeah,
earth as
yeah,
apex
yeah.
predators, there was a long phase of no
Yeah.
dinosaurs and no humans.
No humans. Yeah.
So what was there in this phase was
The saber-tooths and all those mammoths.
mammoths,
And all,
matlab, predecessors to current
yeah,
animals.
current animals. Yeah, got it. I didn't know it was called megafauna.
Yeah, but it's called megafauna because they were very big in size.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and because they were big in size, there were two big disadvantages. The
Yeah.
obvious advantage is that they're the big show of the animal world.
Yeah.
You know, they'll come and like other animals. But the disadvantages were that one, they were very kind of heavy, so they couldn't move easily and they couldn't hunt
it's
easily.
the same today.
The second disadvantage was that once human beings started rising up the food chain, they were easy targets. So
Yeah.
the moment human beings kind of evolved up to a point of we became smarter,
Yeah.
right? Like human beings also had a trajectory in terms of the first Homo
Yeah.
sapien wasn't as smart as how we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Okay, and progressively every generation
Yeah.
becomes smart. So the moment we started becoming smart and we learned to work together, we killed off most of the megafauna on Earth.
Yeah.
Be it mammoths, be it the whole Australian
Dingo, big
yeah.
not dingo, sorry, the Tasmanian tiger.
Tasmanian tiger, predecessor to the kangaroos, was marsupials ke
Yeah,
predecessors. So now during this phase, there were early ancestors of the modern day tiger or the modern day lion.
Yeah.
There was probably even like in this whole timeline, at some point, we did see tigers as we know them today. Okay? Matlab the same
Yeah,
species
got it.
was there at that
Okay.
point. Now these animals, that first tiger, first lion, they understood that, oh shit, human beings mean danger. So a lot of zoology experts believe that they developed a genetic sense of fear
Yeah, which is
of humans.
yeah, which is there today also.
You sense that
Yeah,
when you
both these things you see today also.
like there is a fear in
Yeah,
apex
like
predators of
90% of the 99%, I will say, not 100%, but 99% of the time, if you're walking in the forest, as when we go looking for conflict animals and all, we have to walk sometimes. And the thing is, like, even around my house, if I'm walking, right, sometimes tigers come out. But I mean, I don't walk out that often. Never seen a tiger on foot outside my house. But the thing is that, you know, like lot of even forest guards and all, even they tell when they go patrolling and all, like 99% of the time when you're walking on the jungle path or whatever, if this tiger coming head on towards you, 99% of the time, if you continue walking, the tiger will go around like into the jungle, walk around you and come out. And even I have noticed this. So they do avoid us. They try and avoid us as much as possible. And so that's one thing that we were talking about.
Yeah, what is the closest encounter you've had with a tiger? That was the story.
Yeah, so again we were tracking this conflict tiger, and like there was this one part where there was a water body and there was a bush, little bush and like little shrubbery and all next to the water body, and the tiger's pug marks and ended up there. So we were like we used to go in groups of like 10, 12, 13, 14 of us used to go in groups, because when you're going tracking for a conflict animal, it's better to go in a big group and make noise. So so the animal doesn't come too close, but still you can follow his pug marks and like do where you want him to be, or you can like inform the members of the team via walkie-talkie and stuff like that. So we reached this edge of this lake, this water body pond, and his pug marks ended out there. And we were like figuring out now what do we do. We were trying to like discuss like where do we go from here, because the pug marks have ended. He could have gone this way where it's कीचड़. कीचड़ में तो pug mark होते हैं, वहाँ पे नहीं है. इस तरह पत्थर है, वहाँ से जा सकता है. We were figuring out. And dude, suddenly this guy came out from behind that bush into this ankle deep water, and he's looking at us and growling. And the first reaction by anybody in this kind of situation is run, right? I don't know how a couple of us had presence of mind. So we called people on either side of us as Bhago mat, pehli baar. Then we had guards with we had forest guards with us with SLR rifles. So luckily they had the presence of mind to shoot in the air. And then the tiger turned around and ran off. But at that point, dude, man, I thought ke boss main to gaya aaj. Because he was pretty close. He was just pissed off, dude. We had been tracking him for many days. We had been looking for him for many days. So there was a lot of disturbance also created in the forest because there were more guards patrolling the forest. There were more vehicles. Wherever there were paths, there were vehicles going up and down looking for him because he was a conflict animal. And there was nothing we could do at that time to reduce the disturbance because we had to catch him.
Bro,
Because if we didn't catch him, then the locals would get pissed off and start poisoning water bodies and carcasses. So instead of capturing one tiger, his mother, his brother, his father, all would have died if we hadn't caught this one guy. So we would have lost 4 tigers instead of losing one tiger from the system. And that's what conservation is. It's about the species. It's about the overall goodness of the species. So if you have to sacrifice one tiger to save another 4 tigers, I think it's valid, dude.
yeah.
You cannot think emotionally always because there are going to be repercussions to that.
Bro,
I may sound like hard-hearted and all, but that's a fact.
you're the expert,
You
bro.
cannot be compassionate and be a conservationist. I don't think that's possible.
You have all the rights in the world to give your opinion here.
Yeah.
Because you live in the forest. This is your job. So, but I actually want to ask you about that chase for the man-eating tiger, bro. I mean, okay, sorry, not the conflict tiger.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a group, you're walking through a jungle where there may
Yeah.
not be a pakka road also, as in not a built road.
Very often.
So you're walking through mud.
Yeah.
There is thick bushes around you.
Yeah, dude, you cannot see 10 or 12 feet into the bush. You cannot see.
So what's going on in
There
your
was
head?
one point, dude. We could hear snarling. We could hear the tigers growling and snarling, and we couldn't see him, dude. We had no clue where he was inside. And dude, luckily again, the road was pretty close to where we were, where the jeep was. So we called the jeep in. So the jeep came a little off-road. So and the jeep came all a little off-road. The tung sound happened. That's when the growling stopped. We got on the jeep and went back.
What goes on in the group's head? Like the collective personality of the group? Are you guys in any kind of fear? Are you all alert? Like what's happening?
Dude, you have to be alert. You cannot zone out.
But you're not scared?
There are times when you do get scared, but I mean, dude, I don't know. It's got its own thrill also, and also you're going into for me, it's dude, I want to save this animal. I want to try my best to save him. But there's a point to that also. There have been points when you feel dude, it's better that this thing gets over. Let's just capture this animal or shoot this animal. Because as I said, at that point, you reach that point only when villagers start getting pissed off and start threatening. Okay, we will poison the water, we'll poison the carcass. And if they actually go ahead and do that, dude, you will have no clue how many other animals and how many forget tigers, water holes, so even deer and all will come and drink and die. So at that point, it's you feel like it's better to sacrifice one animal if you're going to save another, so many other animals.
Yeah, dude, that's what people don't understand. That when you're talking about a jungle that just when you're talking about a jungle that contains tigers, there's also bears, there's also leopards,
Yeah.
there's also even more carnivores, more herbivores.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's very simple. The presence of an apex predator is a sign that the entire ecosystem is healthy. So everything in the ecosystem is flourishing. Only that's when the apex predator will be present in that ecosystem. Like in the forest, the tiger is the apex predator. So only the tiger will only exist if the deer is there, if the bear is there, if the leopard is there, if the wild dogs are there, if this is all this has to come into play for that tiger to exist.
Mm.
If one of these animals goes out of the system, the whole system comes collapsing down.
Mm.
It's the same thing that happened in Yellowstone, right? When they took out the wolves, the bison population went up. They ate up all the grass, so no grass was there. Whatever rain, snow was happening, it was all flowing down in flash flood, destroying the entire soil. So they had to reintroduce wolves because once the grass got over, even the bison started going down.
Mm.
But there's no food for them.
Mm.
The entire ecosystem started going for a toss. The glaciers started melting faster. So then they reintroduced wolves, and now they've noticed that things have started healing back and coming back.
Mm.
So
Bro, I mean, all these conflict animals, I feel like the basis of it is that the villages are too close to the forest. And listen, villages have been set up that too close. So why don't the officials sort of just take the villagers, move them out to
but dude,
another
they
place?
are in the process of doing that in the core zones of tiger reserves, okay? But dude, okay, I'll give you an example. For the government does that in the core zones, okay? 600 square kilometers in Tadoba is the core zone, okay? In the core zone, in 600 square kilometers, there were only like, say, 10 villages there used to be. Now there's only one,
Mm.
okay?
Okay.
But in 600 square kilometers, there were 10 villages, okay? Now the buffer zone of Tadoba, which is 1100 square kilometers, okay, which is almost double of the core, there are 60 villages in there.
Mm.
And if you talk about the corridors that connect Tadoba to other forests, for example, Central Chanda is one forest, is one patch of reserve forest, which is 1100 square kilometers. Again, it's as big as the buffer of Tadoba. But where Tadoba has 60 villages in the buffer, in Central Chanda, there are 600 villages.
Mm.
So it's taken like 40 years or 30 years to relocate 9 villages. Imagine how many years it will take to relocate 60 villages. How many
Mm.
years will it take to relocate 600 villages? And when you talk about relocation also, it's not easy because you have to find that much land away from the forest
Mm.
available for the village.
Mm.
Then there's to be water close by because villagers will not agree to move otherwise.
Mm.
They have to have some facilities ready before they can like even relocate the village.
Mm.
And then the villagers have to agree. Then every villager gets land for land, a house for a house. So the government has to build a house for them. Every member in the house above the age of 18 is given 10 lakh rupees compensation above all this. So it's a very expensive process even for the government to relocate one village.
Mm.
One village takes 10 years sometimes to relocate.
Mm.
So you know it's impossible to think of relocating villages.
Mm.
And dude, I'll tell you one thing to these villagers, right? Like villagers that live around forests and in forests, no. They've been living there for generations. They know how to coexist. It's other people who come from outside that destroy things.
Mm.
Like we want electricity in the city to chalawa AC and a computer and this and that. So electricity means you need coal or you need something to burn to generate electricity. Now most of this coal comes from which is under forests.
Mm.
So forests are being destroyed. Forests are being destroyed for mines, mining and all coal, minerals. All this is happening because of greed.
Mm.
And then even like there is a demand for animal parts.
From Chinese medicine.
China, wherever, dude, whoever. Even out here, dude, lot of babajis and all, हमको नाखून चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. Keeps going on, dude.
Mm.
So all this greed is what's the problem. It's not the
Villagers.
villagers per se.
Mm.
All of the villagers also have some issues. Like they have to live with predators, which is not easy all the time. But they it's like when something happens they get pissed off, which is justifiable.
Mm.
But otherwise they live peacefully, I feel, with animals.
Have you seen that video of that Indonesian lady who got swallowed by a python and then they couldn't locate
No,
her?
man.
It's crazy. Like, so
Yeah.
there's a video of basically the Indonesian old lady was missing, grandmom, okay, and they didn't know where she was. And then later they found a python which looked like it had something in it, and there's an actual video of them cutting up the python, and you see the lady's dead body inside just being half digested.
Crazy, dude.
It's a crazy video, but this is what I mean, and I'm sure these kind of problems are prevalent all over, at least
Yeah,
Asia
dude.
and Africa.
Dude, you know what the thing is? So you think like tigers, leopards, bears, all these are the dangerous animals, right? The main cause of human deaths in man-animal conflict is not caused by leopards, tigers, bears in India. It's caused by wild boar.
Wild boar, yeah, you'd
Yeah,
spoken about that.
wild boars, dude, they kill more people than leopards, tigers, and bears put together.
Put together.
Yeah, they kill more, dude. Many more humans are killed by wild boar in our country.
Wow. Like,
So the tiger and the leopard is not the scary animal. Like if you're in the jungle, the scary animals are the bison, the core. They are scary because they charge, man, and they are like huge. The other scary animals are bears, dude. Sloth
Yeah.
bears.
I wanted to ask you about bears.
Yeah, so sloth bears, the thing is that sloth bears are very nearsighted. They have very bad vision. So, and their sense of smell is very strong. So, they get alarmed when you come because they cannot see you. They can smell you, but they don't know what you are. So the minute you come close to them, they straight attack. And no, they've got like their nails are like the size of your index fingers, just their claws. Their paw is the size of a quarter plate, dude. One slap means your whole face gets ripped apart, dude.
Have you seen one up close in the
I've
forest?
seen a sloth bear up close. I've never seen an attack, but I've seen a victim after the attack.
So,
It's quite gruesome, man. It's quite gruesome.
Very funnily, I was reading a book on Aghoris yesterday. You know Aghori Baba?
Yeah.
So I was reading a book on Aghoris, and there's a particular village near Haridwar, which is supposed to be like an Aghori headquarters. Now,
Yeah.
from Haridwar to that village, if you want to go, you have to take a bullock cart and all, and you have to pass through sloth bear territory.
Yeah.
So it's a chapter on that book describes how the author and his guide started feeding sloth bears in that forest. So that got me thinking that, dude,
Stupid.
yeah, is it stupid, or do sloth bears?
Feeding any wild animal is a stupid idea.
Have you seen this happening?
I mean, in Ranthambore, you see like them throwing biscuits and all. Out there, there's this carnivorous bird called a rufous tree pie. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is another issue. Tourism is good for the forest because it's a form of monitoring. It's like the tigers that are in the tourism zone are monitored regularly by tourists. So if anything happens to them, the authorities get to know without even patrolling because the tourist cars are patrolling that part. So they can concentrate on the other part, which is the non-tourism part. Okay, that's the thing. Responsible tourism is good for the environment. Irresponsible tourism is very harmful. And if you go to Ranthambore, you will see like guests like giving ruffles, lays, keeping it on the hand of these rufous tree pies, come and eat, okay? But the thing is that those birds, this is not their food, they're carnivorous birds.
What do they eat?
They eat insects, they eat meat out of the tigers, kill and all.
Scavenging.
They say, like I've never seen this, but the guides and drivers used to say that the rufous tree pie cleans the tiger's teeth. Which is kind of, I've never seen it myself, so I find it hard to believe. But they do eat the kill, scavenge, like they eat insects and also they're carnivorous birds. Now their systems are not made to eat ruffles, lays and all, man. Then they get screwed. Then you will see them throwing packets of biscuits at the temple in Ranthambore. There's one Ganesh temple. There are some temples on the way inside. They throw biscuits for the langurs. And then they'll throw the biscuit with a plastic wrapper and a full packet only they'll throw. And then the langurs are eating. And then the deer are eating plastic.
God.
And then they'll like throw biscuits at animals also. Peru khayega, ye khayega in safari, which is not right. So it's kind of stupid to feed wild animals.
Yeah. Something related to safaris. I remember you describing your African safari to me, and you were like, I hate this shit. What the is this? Why did you not enjoy Africa?
I enjoyed Africa. But the thing is, the difference between Africa and India, right? In Africa, right? it in my first safari drive alone, I saw 30 lions. Dude, in India, it'll take you like couple of at least a year. Or if you live in the forest, it'll take you like about a year, or no, I would say 6 months to see 30 tigers if you live out there, if you do regular safaris. But if you don't live in a forest, like it can take you like 10 years maybe to see 30 tigers.
What did you make of lions? Because you're spending so much time around animals, so I'm sure even if you gauge an animal, you'll be able to tell something about it. So what did you make of lions?
Lions, lions are awesome. They're huge. They're amazing looking animals. I mean, the male lions, but I prefer the lionesses. Dude, the lionesses, man, watching those lionesses hunt is like watching a soccer match, man.
Why?
Like so we were watching this migration happen, okay? So like some 1 lakh wildebeest had just crossed the river and had come up the riverbank, and we were there, okay? And there was a nala on the little away from us. There was a nala, and we could see the ears, okay? Then one lioness came up. One lioness came up. Then she went ahead and hid in one bush on the side. And then we noticed like ek karke, no, there must have been some 6 or 8 lionesses that came out of the nala. They were all sleeping in the nala. One lioness came at the back of the herd and waited at the river bank. And 3 lionesses came on this side of the herd, positioned themselves aage dur jaake while the herd was still grazing. They kept far away, kept in the bushes, and they went. And then this one from the back started chasing the herd, okay? So 1 lakh wildebeest are moving like this. Then that first lioness now comes and splits the herd. And these 2 lionesses then hold the rest of the herd back. Like the third lioness comes out and chases the herd from here. And that's when you put your camera down. Because you don't know which lioness is going to make the kill from where, nothing.
Wow.
It's crazy, dude.
It's killing with strategy.
Full strategy. And that comes back to the question where we spoke about the disadvantage being weight. So the thing with tigers and lions is their weight is their disadvantage. They cannot run long distance. A lion or a tiger can maximum run 100 meters. After 100 meters, it gets so tired that it has to rest for at least 3 to 4 hours to get up and recover.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Dude, imagine how much energy it takes to move a 250 kilogram or 280 kilogram animal at 65 kilometers an hour for 100 meters. It takes a lot of energy for the tiger to do that. Which is why lionesses hunt like that. Which is why tigers use stealth. And they come really close to the animal before pouncing and catching. Tigers are ambush predators because they hunt alone. These guys are strategy. Lions hunt by strategy because they hunt in prides. So they are more of them, so they can lagav their strategy. But still, they also cannot run for like half a kilometer like dogs. Like dogs can run for like kilometers, dude. Like candid, like wolves and all run, chase their prey for kilometers. Because they are stamina animals. Tigers and lions are burst animals. They are burst energy. Short distance but burst.
God, that's crazy, man. And Africa was honestly my first introduction with animals because you see it on Nat Geo.
But dude, when you go to Africa, it's literally like living in Nat Geo for those many days. Like everywhere you look, it's like National Geographic. You're like living in that channel for like how many ever days you go to if you go to the Masai Mara or the Serengeti in Tanzania.
Yeah.
It's actually like you're living in that fucking National Geographic
Yeah.
channel only.
Yeah, bro. Have you heard of this whole Democratic Republic of Congo? You know, there's two countries, DR Congo
DR
and
Congo and the other Congo.
yeah. So there's a forest, there's a jungle spread
I
across
know that
the two countries.
equatorial forest
Yeah,
and the maximum number of volcanoes in Africa are in their active volcanoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Inside that forest.
Inside that forest.
So it's also supposed to be one of the most unexplored jungles in the world.
Because it's very difficult to explore. It's very dense.
Jaguars also hunt caimans.
Yeah.
Which are those tiny
Tiny
crocodiles.
crocodiles, yeah, which also exist in the Amazon only.
It's crazy to think that something hunts crocodiles and eats them, dude. Though, they say that crocodile meat tastes just like chicken.
Yeah, well, in Australia, they have crocodile farms. Where, like out here, we breed chickens for farms, like poultry farms. There, they have crocodile farms.
What's the wildest thing you've eaten in your life?
Crocodile in
You've
Australia,
eaten?
yeah.
What does it taste like?
It tastes like a mixture of oyster and chicken only, you were right.
Like seafood chicken?
Yeah, like a mixture of seafood and chicken, yeah, exactly.
Wow. The texture is like chicken, but the taste is like seafood.
Yeah, but I ate it in Australia when I was studying there, when I was like not a conservationist.
Studying and, having some fun, Mr. Dalal.
Yeah,
but
not so fun.
You want to know the wildest thing I've ever eaten?
What?
It's fucking weird. So, my dad had a Chinese associate in Singapore and we were on a family vacation. And that Chinese associate knew that I was into food, that I was in this whole cooking phase. So he told my dad, I'll make this guy eat a Chinese delicacy. But he didn't tell us what the delicacy is. And I was very open to eating whatever. I'd eaten insects by that point. And
I've eaten grasshoppers and shit. Yeah,
Same. Not in the Northeast, I've eaten grasshoppers in my life. But I was excited about this because he said it's a big Chinese delicacy and he won't find this anywhere else except in China and Singapore. Okay? So I go...
some horses' testicles.
No, bro.
Dog testicles.
I've eaten goat's testicles in Bombay.
That's how you get out here.
Gurda Kapura.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are my hardcore non-veg days. But anyway, this is the most hardcore thing I've eaten, okay? So we go to this one place in Singapore, which is like a food court. And I'm sitting there and my dad's like, okay, so what are you going to feed us? And the Chinese associate, damn sweet guy and all that. He's like, okay. He also got excited and shit. He went to one of the stalls and ordered stingray. Okay. Now, what do you think stingray will be like? What's your guess?
I'm guessing it'll be like shark.
Okay. So the texture is just like fish, like surmai. Okay.
Okay.
But the taste, you know what it tastes like?
What?
You go to a shauchalaya, a public toilet, and you get that smell of urine, old urine.
Yeah.
That strong ammonia ka burst smell.
Yeah.
But imagine that in your mouth when you bite the flesh.
Oh, sick that is. Ulti scenes.
I ate it and I was in that josh of like eating something cool. Okay, so I bit into it and it felt like someone urinated in my mouth.
Sick that is.
And with the public toilet ka gas.
How people like this, man?
Bro, I think it's more like a...
acquired taste, I guess.
Yeah. It's an acquired taste plus it's one of those situations where I'm guessing cultures where they eat a lot of meat, they're always looking for novelty in meat.
Yeah.
Like new kind of meat, etc. Like I'd seen this fucked up video when I was a kid once. It was one of these gruesome WhatsApp forwards of a bunch of Asian men. I'm assuming it's Chinese. I don't know. It's slightly racist on my part, but whatever. I'm assuming it's Chinese. They get this fucking baby monkey.
Yeah, and then smash the brain open and eat it live, right?
When it's alive and that monkey's screaming.
Yeah, that's a delicacy. It's horrible, dude.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I've read about this. I've never seen it and I don't want to see it also.
Dude, it's fucked. That monkey's fucking screaming because the monkey's aware what's happening.
Yeah. It's like Hannibal Lecter space.
Bro, they kill it.
Yeah, I know. I heard of that. Like these in China, they make bear paw soup. So they have these bears that are kept alive in cages with their paws like this, and they scrape their paws and all that skin and blood. Then they make soup out of that.
While it's alive.
While it's alive, dude. It's sick.
Why would you do that to an animal, dude? Don't you sense the animal's pain?
I don't know, but it's like quite disgusting what people eat around the world.
Dude, even when you talk about that Yuhan festival, the dog festival where they kill dogs.
Yeah, I've heard of that also.
The Yulin dog festival that happens in China. We assume that it's all Chinese people who do that. It's not all Chinese people. There are sections of China which are kind of very open to trying different kinds of meats. There are sections of China which are traditional. China's a massive country. It's like even they have their version of...
Even India, dude, we've got tribals that eat all kinds of stuff out here also.
Like?
Out here we got tribals that believe that that some extract from the monitor lizard heals a lot of medical problems. Like it's called the oil. They take out the oil from some organ of the monitor lizard and use that oil in traditional, even Indian medicines.
Have you seen a monitor lizard up close?
Many times, dude. They live in the jungle. Dude.
Are they aggressive?
If they can be like, they're not aggressive usually, even they avoid us. But the thing with them is they are like, they're pretty big. Like they're about the size of that leopard. They're in the on that.
Like about
Like
1
that
meter.
toy leopard you have, they're about 3-4 feet long, including the tail.
Hmm.
But the tail they use it like a whip. So they'll twist it like that. They'll hit you on your calf and all.
On your cock?
No, on your calf.
Okay. But
But dude, you can get like it can slit your skin, flesh, everything. That one attack only.
yeah.
And they're quite violent if they want to be, but most of the time even they like run away.
Have you heard of even emu birds in Australia?
Yeah, those are like nasty, dude. They can kill you, dude, with their claws.
They kick you or something,
They
right?
kick you and their claws are their nails are like daggers, dude.
Do you know that between Bombay and Pune there's an emu
Yeah,
farm?
that Tonida Dhaba, Sanida Dhaba somewhere.
Yeah. Where they serve emu omelets. They don't
There's some emu meat also, like
really?
the emu tikkas and all, yeah.
Emu tikkas.
Yeah.
Have you eaten?
Once.
What does it taste like?
It's like mutton, dude. It's like mutton tikka. It's like boti kebab types, you know, boti kebab.
The texture is like mutton
Yeah,
rather
it's
than
like
chicken.
mutton rather than chicken. Like, yeah.
Mm.
It's a lean meat.
Got it. Lean mutton.
Yeah.
That's what I would call. Maybe, this last section, this is something we didn't cover in the Hindi podcast either. What's your opinion about crocodiles and snakes, these two species? Because I think there's a lot of mystery surrounding them. What people don't understand about crocodiles is that they are dinosaurs. They are the dinosaurs that survived. They've been there since the age of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So why do you think they survive, firstly, by seeing their behavior? And secondly, what do people not understand about these animals?
I mean, dude, the thing is that any animal, it's quite simple to understand, dude. Any animal is going to react to provocation. If you provoke an animal, it is going to react, and most of the time, the reaction is going to be attacking you. But if you ignore that animal, like if you behave like the animal is not there only, even though it's next to you, stay calm. There is no misunderstanding or anything, dude. I mean, they are there because they also have their place in nature. They have their place in the ecosystem. I mean, the snakes are the apex predators of their food chain. Crocodiles are the apex predators of their food chain.
Does
If the crocodiles don't exist, then the rivers will get screwed. If the snake doesn't exist, the rat population will go up in the world. It's just an example. Like, there are snakes that primarily hunt rodents. So if those snakes go, then all your chuas, all your fields में chuas will घूमो. Then खेती में चूहा घूमेगा तो खाना खत्म कर देगा. तो खाना नहीं रहेगा तो इंसान क्या खाएगा? So everything boils down to everything having its place. And our survival depends on that balance being maintained.
Got it.
I mean, think about it, dude. If we kill all the snakes and all this, all the rodents will increase. They'll destroy all the crops. What will we eat? Chuhe ka tatti. I mean, literally think about it. Like that's all we'll be left with in the khet will be full of rat poop. And little tinkas of like leftover ghas.
Yeah. Like instead of dal chawal, you'll have dal tatti.
Yeah, exactly. What dal also? Dal also will be eaten up by we'll have tatti.
Bro, do animals hunt crocodiles and snakes in Indian forests?
Yeah. I mean, tigers have been known to hunt crocodiles.
But aren't crocodiles massive?
Yeah, but tigers are also massive. Like there's this tiger is called Machli, who used to hunt crocodiles only in that lake in Ranthambore.
Wow.
And her father taught her how to hunt crocodiles.
Taught her means what?
Means tigers teach their cubs how to hunt, yeah?
कि ये देख कि मैं कैसा इसको मारता हूँ.
No. So tigers and leopards and all, will take their cubs with them on when they go hunting after a certain age. And the cubs will stay behind in the bush and watch their parents hunt. and they learn what they can hunt and what to avoid and all. The mother actually teaches that to the cubs. Which is why the cubs stay with the mother for 2.5 years before they go on their own way.
Bro, I wonder what the internal mind of a tiger is like,
Nobody knows what the internal mind of any animal is. Your pet dog at home, you never know what that dog is thinking at any given point in time.
What your...
You just know happy because tail is wagging, angry because teeth are showing. That's all you can tell, dude. You don't know what exactly that dog also is thinking. Maybe the dog hates you and you think he loves you.
Yeah. No, but there are spiritual angles to this, They say that an animal, especially animals that give you joy, like dogs, they have a spiritual purpose, which is to like enhance your life. And they say dogs come into your life for a reason.
I got 9 dogs, dude.
Maybe they're sent to you for a reason.
Maybe I just like them and I got them home, dude.
But what's your estimate? What do you think a tiger's internal world is like? Like from jitna you know about tigers.
It's like any animal's internal world.
Which is sex chahiye, food chahiye.
Sex chahiye, food chahiye, rest chahiye. Bas. Even basic human needs only that, dude. What more do we need?
Social needs?
No, that even animals have. Lions have that social structure. Tigers also have a social structure. They are solitary most of the time. But the father comes and chills with the cubs, comes and chills with his mate.
Plays
with the cubs for a couple of days, then he goes off on his own trip. He'll go to his other chick. He'll go spend time with the other female with her cubs. Then he'll go to his other female, then he'll come back. So everything has its social structure also. But the basic primary need or primary thought process of any animal is that only, food, sleep, shit, eat, fuck, that's it. Everything else is greed.
Yeah. I know that
no other animal has greed, only humans have greed. मेरे को गाड़ी चाहिए, पेट्रोल चाहिए, ये चाहिए, जरूरत नहीं है, फिर भी चाहिए. घर में 3 लोग रहता है, फिर भी 5 गाड़ी रखेगा.
That's true.
Little Hindi is allowed in this.
Yeah, of course. I know that male lions and female lions have very varied personalities, but do male tigers and female tigers also have very varied personalities?
No, individual animals only have like individual personalities. Like even dogs, dude. Even if you have like lots of dogs, every dog has its own personality. Every dog has its own nature. Every dog has its own quirks that it'll do. Like that, even all animals are like that. Even we are like that here. I mean, which human being do you know that's completely perfectly sorted and all? Everybody is f***ed up in their own way. Everybody is messed up in their own way, right?
Yeah, but human beings' f***ness often boils down to genetics and childhood moments.
So even animals could boil down to genetics and childhood moments fall, I mean, it's the same it's the same our systems are the same, right? Even we have the same kind of brain that they have. The size and the parts of our brain ka size differs, but we all have a cerebellum, we all have a cerebrum, we all have a medulla oblongata, we all have a spinal cord, we all have a heart. It's just that the level of consciousness may be different in each species, across species or whatever. How do you know, that the tiger might be smarter than you in other things?
I agree. Yeah.
You don't know, no.
That's what we assume as human beings. We equate.
And the thing is, boss, with cats, when you go looking for like tigers or leopards in the forest, right? No, those tigers and leopards are always like 2 steps ahead of you, dude. I don't think it's possible to outsmart a cat. Like, you can outsmart a dog. Like, you can make him a ullu. But it's very difficult to outsmart a cat. And it's not only tigers and leopards, it's even your domestic cats at home, man.
Yeah.
You try fooling a cat. That cat will turn around and say, Tere ko banaya. But dog, you can make a dog a you know what I'm saying? Like, you slam the bone and then you hide it and you where's it? That cat will be like, ha boss, tu chupaya tere piche.
Nice. Hans Dalal ji, it's time for our Twitterverse section. You have your own fan club after a Hindi podcast. After the English podcast, people just want pieces of your meat.
My meat?
I mean, your overall soul's meat, not your meat. They want pieces of your mind. Okay, Hans Dalal ji, are you ready for the Twitterverse section? Okay. Manish
Yes, Ranveer ji.
Manish Pandey asks, discuss Govardhan Meena of Ranthambore and Dr. Khobra Gade of Tadoba. Maybe I ask, who are these people?
Govardhan Meena is this local guy in Ranthambore in Rajasthan. And he's been working in Ranthambore since he was a kid. He's born and brought up there. And he runs this thing called Kids for Tigers, which is a Sanctuary Asia program where they do conservation based activities in local schools around Ranthambore. So Govardhan actually goes to like 300, 400 schools around the forest and educates children about wildlife, about conservation. He he organizes like drawing competitions for them in their school. He organizes like quiz competitions, debates on wildlife. Everything is based on wildlife, even the drawing competitions, everything he bases on wildlife. And then the kids get prizes if they win, which are sponsored by the sponsors of Kids for Tigers. They sponsor the kids, the prizes and all. But now Govardhan has been doing this work for the past 18, 19 years. So the first batch of kids that were there, now they become adults. So now and the kids right now also go home and tell their parents about wildlife and what they learned and all. And then one more thing Govardhan does is not only does he do these school programs and stuff, but he also takes the kids in the forest. So sometimes he'll take them in the forest to pick up kachra that tourists have thrown, like plastic bottles, plastic bags, wrappers, all that. He'll take school kids from Ranthambore to pick those. Sometimes he'll take them on safari to see animals, to see tigers. And he's a really cool guy. And the other thing that Govardhan does is that he helps the forest department during wildlife rescue operations, during man-animal conflict operations. Because at that point, right, for example, if a tiger kills a person in a village or attacks a human being in a village, those villagers get really aggressive and they get like very angry with the forest department. And very often they don't let the forest department do the rescue operation like it should be done. So Govardhan is the middleman. He's the guy who samjaus the villagers, ke boss, let them do their work. This is not the way to do things. Yes, I agree that this has happened. But if the rescue operation goes horribly, there is a chance that many more of y'all will get injured. So he's the kind of what they call mob management, managing the mob so that they can do their rescue. Probably is what Govardhan does
Got it.
also. And he also helps in rescues.
Got it.
And he's an amazing guy.
Got it.
And Dr. Khobra Kade, he said, Dr. Khobra Kade is the wildlife veterinarian of Tadoba. And dude, this guy is a legend. Like this guy, I've not seen a more dedicated forest officer like Dr. Khobra Kade. For the simple reason, I'll give you 2, 3 examples. Okay, elephants get into this period called must. Where the male elephants get really aggressive.
Horny.
Yeah, because their testosterone level goes up by 100 times more than the normal. So they get really aggressive. So Dr. Kobrakade in Tadoba, the forest department has a couple of elephants that they keep for going and rescuing other animals where gypsies cannot reach. So the forest department has a few elephants, and Dr. Kobrakade had gone to treat one elephant that was in must. And believe me, that elephant picked him up and threw him, okay? Dr. Kobrakade broke his collarbone. His hand was in a sling. 3 days later, okay, with his hand in a sling, this man is back in the field. He has gone to tranquilize the tiger somewhere in another part of the forest. Then, in last year, his dad passed away because of COVID. 2 days after his dad passed away, this guy is back in the field, gone to tranquilize another tiger, to rescue another tiger. A couple of months ago, a tiger caught him. And during the rescue operation went wrong, like horribly wrong, and the tiger caught Dr. Kobra Kadi. So one of Dr. Kobragade's foot was in the tiger's mouth.
What the
And the other foot, the tiger had his paw on it. And there's one other guy in the forest department in Dr. Kobragade's team called Ajay Marathe. Ajay Marathe ran back to the doctor and caught doctor's shoulders and pulled him. So imagine this. Okay, Dr. Kobragade is in the middle. This side a tiger is pulling him this way. This side this forest guy is pulling Dr. Kobragade the other way. Luckily, somehow his shoe came off and got stuck in the tiger's mouth. And they pulled Dr. Kobragade, okay? This guy, all toes in his feet were crushed. All toes had to be reconstructive surgery. Okay? I and then, dude, with both his feet in a bandage, after like a month from this accident, both his feet are in bandages. He's got rods in every toe. He's walking on a walker, and he's gone back to tranquilize that same elephant that had thrown him. He's gone back to treat him with a walker in front of an elephant that threw you a year, 2 years ago. That elephant picked him and threw you. You're in a walker and you're going to treat that elephant again. I mean, that is some dedication, dude.
What happened the second time with that elephant?
No, that elephant is fine. Doctor's healing right now. His one foot is still in bandage and all. But yeah, these are some amazing people. Like, yeah, they are amazing, amazing human beings. Like, they're doing some amazing work, man. There are so many people doing amazing work.
Yeah. This shows the dedication of people who
Yeah.
are passionate about the forest.
Yeah.
Okay. Hitarth Parekh asks, is there any reason that tigers turn into the so-called man-eaters? Is it because some human has harmed him or her in the animal's past?
I don't think it's like that.
It's area conflict, land.
Yeah, it's like, it's for space. Humans are encroaching into the forest. They're pushing the animals further and further into a corner. And any animal, even a human being, will, if I keep on pushing you into a corner, at some point you're going to lash out, right?
Got it.
It's like any animal, even a dog, dude, if you take it into a corner and start threatening it, it'll attack you, dude. Even if it's a calm dog. We are hard. Tu kaun hai?
Okay. Sarthak Kharade asks an interesting question. He says, Hans Dalal sir, can you take any 5 animals and list out for each of them a special ability or a strength and a weakness? So any 5 animals and list out one strength and one weakness.
And it's a difficult one, dude.
Whatever you know, or whatever's on the surface level.
My first animal would be a tiger. Tiger's weakness is its weight and its sheer size. Tiger's strength is its ability to camouflage and disappear. Like, dude, I'm telling you, there could be a tiger sitting 5 feet from you and you won't know that it's sitting unless it wants you to know. So that's one thing about the tiger. Leopards advantage is that it's highly adaptable. So it can adapt to like
Any environment.
any environment, any prey. It can adapt to like small prey, large prey, dogs, cats, frogs, anything. A leopard will eat murgi, bakri. And the tiger will never go for a murgi or a bakri. It'll only go for like slightly bigger. So that's an advantage for the leopard
Weakness?
to survive. I don't think the tiger has. I don't think the leopard has any weaknesses like that, dude. Honestly,
No weaknesses at all.
I doubt. Like, the leopard is like so adaptable. It's unbelievable, dude. Like, leopards could be living in a flat right next to you, and you won't know for years that it's living there.
Wow. Maybe the only weakness is that it's never the apex predator in its territories.
There are forests where the leopard is the apex predator.
Okay.
They do exist in tigers also, where they are not the top of the food chain. They're second. But there are forests where they are the top, where tigers don't exist. Like, there's Jalna in Rajasthan, there's Bera in Rajasthan, there's Kabini, which used to be mainly leopards. Now tigers have also come in.
Even the Sahyadris maybe will have a lot of these cases.
So exactly. Even Sanjay Gandhi National Park, the leopard is the top predator.
Right. But maybe not anciently, like
Historically, there were
historically.
tigers in Bombay, dude.
Yeah.
The last recorded tiger, wild tiger in Bombay was somewhere 1880 or something. It was seen from Teenbatti in Malabar going to Gwalior trying to drink water, and some British guys shot it on the way.
Wow. So here's an interesting story. Vadala, the word Vadala
Yeah.
comes from it's not an urban legend, but this is what the locals say. So there's a place called Antop Hill in Vadala.
Yeah, I know.
Antop Hill used to have a lot of these little caves. And one of those caves was home to a tiger. And the locals there used to call that area Wagdola because
Wag is tiger.
and Dola is eye. So they could only see the eyes in the dark through that cave.
Yeah, so it's quite possible.
Yeah. That's why the name Vadala kind of happened over time.
It's very possible, dude.
Yeah.
Like I mean tigers and before, like historically, like Bombay and all was like forest, man, with little fishing villages along the coast.
Yeah.
But the inside was a lot of forest with tribal villages.
Yeah.
Like these Varli tribals and all, they are local to Bombay, right?
Which is also what they say about crows, that crows are actually native to jungles.
Yeah.
And it's just that they have easy access to food, and crows are also adaptable and
even
intelligent.
kites, some of the black kites that you see in Bombay, they adapted to city life, they've adapted to kachra.
And it's a treasure for them because the food is that easily available.
You don't find these black kites in the forest
anymore.
No, you only find them in cities.
You have to list down more strengths and weaknesses.
Oh shit, dude, this is difficult.
Let's take that wild dog.
Wild dog's strength is its
endurance.
Weakness would be its sheer size.
Small.
Yeah.
As compared to other animals.
As compared to other predators, like tigers can kill wild dogs. Because they're small and easy to kill for a tiger.
Are there hyenas in Tadoba?
No, hyenas outside Tadoba, like in the corridors, in some places, there have been recorded hyenas presence. But Ranthambore in Rajasthan has a lot of hyenas. Madhya Pradesh has a few hyenas.
What is the strengths and weaknesses?
Hyena's strength is, boss, it can digest anything, dude. Anything, dude. Like they can digest bone that other animals cannot. Like even when you bury a human being, like after thousands of years, also the bones are still there, right? Bones will take very long to decay. But these guys can digest bones. Again, vultures also is the same thing. Vultures also can digest bones. The weakness of the vulture is that its system is very delicate to chemicals. So there's this one painkiller. So this is the reason that vultures are going extinct. Is because in our villages, right, the bullocks do all the work, like बैल गाड़ी खींचना है, हल भी चलाना है. So the bullocks and there is a life for everything. There is a working life even for the bullock. A bullock can only work for so many years. But villagers, to make the bullock work for more years, they inject them with painkillers and steroids called diclofenac. And then when the bullock finally dies, then they throw the carcass out. Like they won't even bury him. They'll leave him outside the village. So the vultures have been coming and eating these carcasses, and they are getting reaction to the diclofenac in the meat, and their kidneys shut down and they die. That's why vultures are going extinct.
Which also makes you think about factory farming a little bit.
Yeah, because factory farming is again full hormones and chemicals only you're injecting into your chickens.
Do you think that chicken or meat that we buy
Dude,
in cities?
I don't eat chicken, okay, honestly, because one of the reasons is I'm very scared of birds, which is funny because I live in a forest. I'm okay with birds as long as they're far away. But I don't like, I'm very scared of those claws and those, I don't like those feathers and those wings flapping and all. So I'm very freaked out by birds.
Did a bird attack you when you were a kid or
I
something?
don't know, man. Probably, I don't know.
Dude, a crow.
But the other reason that I don't eat chicken is because of this very fact that the chicken that we eat, like broiler chicken especially, is 90% chemical, dude. It's like the only chicken I really eat is if it's boneless And if it is like a gouty chicken, which is like a free-range chicken from a cow and not a broiler, but I don't eat like, because a friend of mine has had a poultry farm and he used to tell me that they inject the chicken, so it gives 2 eggs every day. In nature, dude, a bird will lay a egg once in like 2, 3, 4, 6 months. Right? They lay eggs not every day. What bird lays eggs, dude? No bird is. They inject the bird so they can give 2 eggs every day.
Do you think maybe even eggs which are not free range eggs contain?
Yeah, because the chicken is injected with that shit.
And this is actually the meat and eggs we buy in cities.
Yeah, even in smaller towns, you get broiler only now, which is full chemical coming from poultry farms.
This was a big issue in USA, which is why USA has this whole culture of organic,
Organic
farm,
and
which is
free
very
range.
expensive. Very expensive.
Free range is another one.
Yeah.
But think about it, dude. I mean, organic should not be that expensive, because technically organic is like organic decaying matter, like leaves and all, which are free. You make your manure out of that. Your chicken and all are feeding on insects from the ground. You're not feeding them chemical proteins and all. They're getting everything from the ground. So technically, organic should not be that expensive. But because it's so small in number, availability, it boils down to demand and supply. So when the supply of chemical stuff is a lot more, it's going to be cheaper. If the supply of organic stuff is less, it is going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
It all boils down to
It's-
economics, to all about
It's also
paisa.
about consumer education. Like you should know what you're putting inside your body.
Yeah, well, we don't most of the time, no. Like you think like your palm oil, that everything has palm oil in it, right? Nowadays,
All your processed food.
all your processed food is palm oil. That palm oil is coming from Southeast Asian countries.
Even chocolates, even
Even your
chips.
Nutella, everything has got palm oil. Nestle and Ferrero are one of the biggest consumers of palm oil. Yeah. I mean, dude, think about it. Your palm oil is coming from Southeast Asian rainforest, where they're chopping down rainforests and creating monoculture. And what happens is they are destroying the orangutan's habitat. Like 95% of the orangutan's habitat and population has gone down because of palm oil
Because
cultivation.
we want to eat
Because
chocolates.
we want to eat a truffle glaze, and we want to eat a Nutella on toast, and we want to eat all this. Everything is palm oil, and that's coming by killing entire ecosystems are being destroyed just so that we can have a French fries and stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Which
Not
is why
French fries, but
what
Nutella.
anything
and
processed.
Processed food.
Anything you buy from your grocery store which is not fresh,
Yeah, exactly.
which is
dude.
packaged.
Which is packaged, has some environmental impact somewhere down the line. Dude, even that stupid plastic packet that you're buying it in has a dent on our environment.
The more organic you live, whether it is buying fruits and vegetables and eating organic meats, eating organic eggs, it's better for the environment. Yes, it's expensive, but you should know about what you're putting inside your
Yeah,
body.
exactly. And dude, it's less. I mean, dude, see, if I take 2 patches of land today, okay, if I do organic farming on one, where I use only natural fertilizers and natural insecticides and stuff like that, okay, and if I put chemicals on the other part of the land, within like 5, 10, 15 years, that chemical part of my land will be dead. It will be completely dead soil. Whereas this thing will be completely rich soil. And the more I kill my land, the more chemical I have to put into it. This thing, after a point, starts taking care of itself, because the insects and the microbes and all start working underground to make the soil richer. Your insects are not bad. Insects are good. And the thing is, why we have to use pesticides is because we do monoculture. If we mix our crops, then चल चावल को कीड़ा लग गया लेकिन गेहूं को नहीं लगेगा, क्योंकि वो कीड़ा गेहूं को खाता नहीं है. अगर तू पूरी जमीन में चावल लगाएगा तो पूरा खेती खत्म हो जाएगा, लेकिन अगर तू थोड़ा ये लगाएगा, थोड़ा वो लगाएगा, थोड़ा ये लगाएगा, तो एक नुकसान होगा लेकिन पूरा नुकसान नहीं होएगा ना.
Yeah, I think there is agricultural education also that's beginning in India. I have
But
certain friends.
but dude, like organic agriculture and like I wouldn't say even organic more. I would say permaculture is the way of the future. Permaculture is where you replicate ecosystems to your benefit. So you create a food forest.
Yeah.
You create diversity in your crops. So like you grow like big trees which give fruit. Under that you grow some other stuff. Other part of the plot you grow something else. You create an ecosystem. Everything is about coexistence, dude. You have to work with nature to get the best out of it. You cannot just exploit nature and expect it to keep going on.
Yeah, totally right, man. But I have to be the podcast host and bring you to the fifth animal. You have to list out a strength and weakness. Let's say
Oh man,
crocodiles.
crocodiles. What weakness do they been around since the time?
Oh,
No. So I think the weakness is the lack of movement on land. But in water they are amazing.
And strength is the end
Strength
again.
is their entire the way they are, dude.
How they've sustained themselves.
Like crocodiles they can survive even if they eat like one deer or one wildebeest in 1 year. That's all they
Wow.
need. They're cold blooded, right? So they heat and all. Most of the energy comes from the sun. They need to eat like 1 meal a year and they can survive on 1 meal a year, even though they eat more than that.
Wow.
And all their reserves, they reserve in their tail, which is why their tail is so fat and fleshy.
I didn't know this, dude.
Yeah.
What the
So that's the strength of the crocodile.
And I've been watching a lot of Nile River crocodile documentaries, and one of them had this whole alpha of the pack versus younger crocodiles kind of vibe.
Crocodiles eat their young also.
Yeah, and they eat each other.
So the mother crocodile will guard the nest, okay, with her life. She won't eat for those many days until eggs hatch. But the minute the eggs hatch, everybody's on their own. Because there's a danger that she'll eat them up.
Wow. That's some weird instinct in
Yeah.
nature, dude. Crazy. And still that species has survived over millions and millions of years.
Think about that.
Ki from birth, the vibe is survive yourself.
तू अपने रास्ता में अपने रास्ता में तेरे को अंडे से निकलने तक देखा अभी बाय बाय.
Wow. So it's a slightly spooky question, Mr. Dalal.
What?
Harshit Agarwal asks, because you lived in the wild, have you had any occult experiences in the wild related to bhoot pret or anything?
Yeah, dude, like, the thing is, I'm scared. I believe in ghosts, but I'm scared of ghosts, so I don't want to believe in ghosts. But I have seen some stuff, yes.
Are you okay sharing one tiny cute story?
So, in Ranthambore, right, there's this place called Jogi Mahal, which is inside the forest. And now you're not allowed to stay there, but few years ago, like VIPs and all were allowed to go and stay there. So once we were with Fateh out there in the night, and he's like, Hans, wo dekho, bhuto ki barat. And dude, in the distance, in the jungle, no, you could see these faint lights just floating and going like that. So apparently, it's legend has it that it's some 12th century wedding procession of some Rajput princess or something, and some dacoits came and killed everybody in the procession and looted them. So from then till today, in the jungle, this Bhuto ki Barat goes like every 15 days or something, you see this faint light just floating.
You saw it with your own eyes?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was quite eerie and spooky, But yeah, I have, and I've had other experiences also. Like outside Tadoba also in the corridor. I was going once and I left my house really early in the morning. Like must be at like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock I left my house. because I had to reach this waterhole before the sun came up. And it was like 60 kilometers from where I live now. So we left really early because, and I wasn't sure of the one turn I wasn't sure of. And my ex-wife was with me in the car, and she was my wife at that time, so we both were going. But and then like I'm like, you know what? I'll just ask this guy in this cave out here. And she looked like this, and she like, what guy? What kid? And I'm looking, and I swear, dude, I saw a house with a light, and one guy walking out of the house and walking into the cave. I swear I saw it when I told her that. And then I looked and there was nothing, dude. It was quite freaky.
Wow. Do you think you have enough dope on occult experiences to give us another podcast on just that?
No.
But you know people who do have this kind of
Yeah.
dope. Okay. Let's end the podcast on that note. Hans Dalal, brother, my brother.
Yeah, you shit bricks when you see yours.
When we're in Tadoba, we'll have one entire ghost episode. We will be there. We will be there. One entire ghost episode.
That you need one special guest for that.
You know someone.
You also know the same
Oh,
someone.
okay, cool, got it. Thank you, Dalal Sahab. This
No
was
problem.
a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun. Thanks for being on the show.
It's been hilarious.
You're really loved by the audience, so I'm glad we got to do episode 2.
Thanks.
And for the listeners, go check out episode 1, which is in Hindi, which is kind of
Yeah, that was the first time I did something in Hindi.
maybe
No,
we'll-
actually, I had given one TED talk in Jaipur once in Hindi. No, Jaipur, Kota. I had given one TED talk in Kota, or was it some other talk? And they asked me to speak in Hindi. And I was shitting bricks, man, because my Hindi wasn't that good at that time. And I had to use words like vriks and bagh.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You killed it. You
Yeah.
won a lot of hearts on the Hindi podcast, and I'm sure you won even more hearts on English.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Hans Dalal, killing it on the internet with all that jungle talk as always. We'll have you
Cool.
back on the show. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. That was the super fun conversation with one Mr. Hans Dalal. I highly recommend you also check out our Hindi podcast episode with Hans Dalal, but generally check out the Hindi podcast. It's just like the English podcast, especially if you enjoy casual, fun, open, but informative conversations just like this. Every time I speak to this man, I'm filled with joy, happiness, and of course, so much information about animals, the jungle, about conservation, about our beautiful planet. Make sure you follow the Ranveer Show on Spotify for conversations just like this. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. I'd also love to know from you guys which other conservationists you guys would like to see on the show. Absolutely love speaking about animals, dinosaurs, and all sorts of conversations just like this. People who've lived in the jungle, people who've encountered wild animals, people with adventures, people with stories. Lots more coming up on The Ranveer Show.